Whenever I'm building an app, I usually start with the most distinct feature first, like creating a note in a Notes app or displaying a chart in a data analysis tool. But as soon as this works, it's time to take care of the fundamental part of every application, and that's handling users, also called authentication and authorization. So let me show you how to add the ability to create user accounts in your Bolt app and ensure that each user has access only to their own data using a service called Firebase. If you don't know what Firebase is, I've covered it in the previous tutorial where we've added a database to a habit tracking app. While not required, I highly recommend you to watch it at some point. We'll continue using this app as an example, but this process will be the same for any other project, assuming you have already configured it to use Firebase. Let's go to the Firebase dashboard and click Authentication. After your first visit, it will also be available in the project shortcut menu in the sidebar. Right now we have a clean slate, so let's set up a signing method. In your app you might want to have several ways of authenticating users, so here Firebase lists a dozen of different signing providers, but let's take the most universal email password method and let's click Enable and Save. Now, if we go to the Users tab, we can manually register a user, which might be useful if you're making an app only for yourself and don't need a sign-up functionality, but we'll have a proper registration form instead. Before we switch to Bolt, we'll clear the current database content. It's not absolutely necessary, but adding users into our app will change the data structure. After all, each habit will be tracked for a specific user. So it's easier to populate the values from scratch than to manually fix the missing user data later. We need to manually type each collection name to delete it. And let's go back to Bolt. So what we want is to be able to sign up with email and password and log in. I also want users to have a name they can define for themselves, so we can display that somewhere in the UI instead of an email. Bolt updates the app now. The auth controller provides the user information to the UI. Then we get the authentication related components. And finally, an update to the habit storing logic to include which user a given habit belongs to. And it looks like now we can log in. Of course, we don't have an account yet, so let's register first. And we have no habits because we've cleared the database earlier. But we can already find our newly registered user in the Firebase dashboard under Authentication. Let's go back and add a habit again. Mark it as complete and see how it looks in the database. As you can see, there's now a user ID in the habit progress and for the habit. This is crucial for the database to return only the data for a given user. Let's make sure the app actually requests only that piece of data. For that, I'll quickly register another user. And yes, Tomek1 doesn't see Tomek's data. But if I log in back as just Tomek, my workout habit is still there. I want to add two more user-related features to the app, and then there's one super important security issue that we have to take care of. So first, now that we have the concept of user profiles, we'll want to give our users a way to personalize them. Let's add a profile page linked from the username in the header to change the name and the password. And Bolt creates the component with the form that has this common pattern of provide the old password and the new password twice. Speaking of typical practices, usually when you create an account, you receive a welcome message in your email, and most often you need to actually confirm that email address. Right now, when I check the email I registered with, no such thing has happened. So let's add email verification. We get a new component, probably with the verification text being displayed in the app. And our previous components get a small update as well. Nice, it shows up in the app. Because we've just implemented this feature, I already know no email was sent yet. Resend it. Let's check our inbox and look at that. We have a pretty decent looking verification email here. It's even personalized. This email is actually being sent by Firebase, and if you want to change the content of the message, you can do it in your dashboard. Let's visit Authentication again and go to Templates. Here we have several predefined transactional emails, and you can see the source of what just landed in my inbox. Okay, time to verify the email, and when I go back to the app, my user is verified. Now, if you remember before, I said there's one super important security issue that we have to take care of. What our app is doing right now is asking the database for certain pieces of data that happen to belong to a currently logged in user. But there is no mechanism that would prevent someone from asking for, say, all the data in the database, or even from modifying or deleting it. This is where security rules come in. They're defined on the Firebase side and specify which user can create, read, update, or delete which resource. When we initially connected this app to the database in the last tutorial, we've allowed full access because we didn't have users yet. We need to change that. So now that we have the authentication, how should we update the Firestore access rules to make the app secure? Bolt has created a file for us and explained what steps we should take in the dashboard. Let's copy the rules, go to Firebase, Firestore database, and rules. Remove the previous rules and replace them with the ones we've just copied. You can of course check the logic of what's changed. For instance, a habit can't be read or modified if the user hasn't verified their email or if they're not the habit's owner. Just in case, let's check if we haven't logged our user out from the data, which we haven't. Alright, now we have an app with a database and a proper handling of user accounts. I hope this was useful and you've learned some new things. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what other topics you'd like me to cover next. I'm already working on the Supabase videos and plan to do one on Stripe payments as well. So, see you next time!